some a simple content or something associated with some proof of work, basically my journey, that how I made use of communities and like being in a community contributor, consumer, and also an enabler. What are things that how it impacted me in my journey as well. To start with, like how Nisha mentioned, like she already has some experience in getting into the a space of UI UX design. Like I will suggest you to start with finding the right community. Okay, join the community based on vision and the people being part of it. Let's say people let them be. They should be UX researchers and they are building a community, and you can just be part of it and try to understand and observe like what they are building around it. So basically, community is just a place where a people of your interest that you are looking to join or be part of, or like to be understood. Like that's the a specific region. Okay, you join there and it's like already filtered out, so you can start directly consuming. You need not go okay learn something and then unlearn, so that because it will make it useful for your roadmap or career. So by choosing the right community built by the right people and the vision, if it is aligns with your roadmap, start joining the community. And also if you take any community I mean to say, like which are like virtual, like offline communities, like Friends of Figma is a community for sharing knowledges around Figma. And similarly, like LottieFiles has its own community, Product Folks as a community, ADPList as a community. Everything that is like driven user first, like they have a community. Okay, they want to be heard, like what the end users are actually looking for. So like there are like company based communities and people like individuals who create a communities, for example like the Product Folks. So in every community there are like three types of people you might see, or the one are the contributors, and the other one are the consumers, and the other one are the enablers basically. So the contributors are the ones they actually want to share their knowledge, share their resources with others, like what they have learned during the journey. So but we cannot say like there is like no one person is 100% a contributor. They just join a Slack community or an offline community, come to a meetup, just only share knowledge. Like there is also a written for them, like in terms of like creating a personal brand, or in terms of creating also learning something from other contributors. So that's how like the community gets stronger as you have like more contributors. And also there should always be a perfect balance if you are trying to run a community, which is basically like a good amount of contributors who wants to share knowledge and resources, and good amount of resources. Like think about a place where only people share knowledge and not no one making use of it, or some place like only one person sharing knowledge and resources, like everybody is like depending on that person. Then it won't be a community, it will become an organization or a cult. Like people tend to follow one person on the whole. So like have it as a basic validation. If the community has a really good amount of contributors, whenever you're trying to forget about the resources, think about the support and feedback they offer. Like if you're joining a community, there might be a Slack channel stating like a feedback and get help section. So you join there and see like how many questions are being answered in the last 10-15 messages, which means people are not just there to just build a network or take resources from others. It's a place where people really want to give it back to individuals. So you can do that part. And with no disrespect, I'm not checking my phone, I'm just checking the pointers that I wanted to share. Mm, yeah, interact often and build something valuable. So basically, when you join a community, mostly there nowadays everything is like online community, and you tend to find people from different backgrounds and demographics. Which means I tend to say, not just like within India. I'm just saying like all over across the world. Like you will find person from Spain, Brazil, like Bangladesh, US, Australia, anywhere. So try to like when you read a message, like you tend to understand like the person is also in the same lines as you are learning. For example, like when I joined ADPList back in 2021, I just joined. There wasn't a Slack community back then, so it was like a platform, adplist.org. You book a session with a mentor, they join the call, you get mentored, and then you leave the call, you leave a feedback. That's how the maximum interaction it used to be. Then I applied for like to want to be a mentor. I thought like okay, I learned a lot from ADPList, and I also wanted to give it to others through ADPList. So then I applied for mentor. And then when they introduced the ambassador program for ADPList, basically representatives of ADPList, so I got to connect with a lot of folks who are not from the same background that I come from, or the same demographics, or anything that is like I can say, okay, we have something in common. Like I found people like from different countries, and they are also in the same space. Basically, the one thing that I could say we had in common is that everyone was like trying to become a good designer in an industry. So mostly like you might be having some knowledge and the other person is also having a knowledge, so you can share, mutually share and work on it. One good example is that that's how I find a person called Mayumi Aditi. She's from a law background and from Brazil. So we were at the same time like looking for a job, and then we collaborated to work on a project. So which means like we started brainstorming on an idea with the help of the community. Like we found each other through the Slack channel, and then we connected over calls, and then we started building a product, and now we have one project in our portfolio. So it's not that okay, it doesn't happen for everyone. Like you have to talk to multiple people, or find one person, like one or two person that they are in the common interest that you are in. For example, like let's say like if you want to do a user research, like look out for people like who are already in the space or trying to get into that space, and check their LinkedIn profile, and like understand like what are the things they have already done, and do a reality check often. When you are in such communities, you get to have a reality check for free. You don't need anybody to go and say to you, hey, you know what, you are lacking on this, you are lagging on this, or something like that. You, when you talk to people, they eventually make you feel okay, I'm missing on something, or I'm already doing good. So interact with them often, get what they
Yeah,
like,
I would
get, try
also
to.
like to add to that, Sandeep. I would say try to interact with people who are active on these communities. That's also very important because there's so many people on these communities who are not even active. You'll hardly find
Right,
messages from them. So please don't waste time trying to drop a message to someone who is not even active. uh, that
right.
will really, like decrease the chance of someone talking to you. And one cool thing about this is I met Sandeep via Figma community itself. So yeah, I feel Figma or any community is really great for networking and meeting like-minded people. So and the first step is always take the interaction ahead in some kind of manner. You can always find common topics and things like that. So that's all from my side to add on that.
True. Like in most of my interaction, like everything would be an example, like meeting up with or interacting with him. I got to know more about the agency work when it comes to freelancing, and also like with other folks that I have met from different cities of India mostly, and very few I hardly get a chance to meet from outside India because of the time zone constraints, and I wasn't working from home, so I started going to office. That is one thing. So try to find people like who are in the same level you are in, or somewhat like in the upper or lower bandwidth, who are trying to do the same stuff that you wanted to do. Try to learn from them, and try to create a project that would represent as an identity. For example, if I go back and have to remember like the person that they have connected with, I might have created something along with them, a basic Figma plugin project, or a Figma template project, or I would have created a Gumroad template with them, so that I can recall, and then that will act as an identity. Like you got something out of that interaction, and that will stay there for like long for your learning. Then so yeah, experiment as many things as possible. Like when it comes to community, like don't stick. Okay, I got to know about these three communities like Rethinking UX, ADPList, Denver UX, or Baseline Community. Like I just found them on Slack, or I just simply Google searched about okay, design communities in India, design communities online, design communities to join, and then you join, and then you figure out like okay, nothing is happening on its own. Like you gotta experiment. Okay, what should I do first? Like okay, let me share my portfolio first and get feedbacks from individuals. Some interested folks will reply back to you, and their words will be like you will try to understand like the maturity of the design maturity they have with their words and with the feedback they offer. So you can go back and then check with them like can you mentor, like can they mentor you, or what is the type of roadmap they follow to get there, what they are doing.
Yeah, that's
It's
a very
like
cool
getting.
way to meet people who are in a higher position than you. Because in a community, you can like directly interact with them. You can, now I would see when you're interacting with them, try to provide any small value you can in whichever manner possible. That kind of helps the chances for the person in the higher position to get back to you. The value can be anything, we can just praise their work at times. You can just say you came across their journey and you're really fascinated by it, or some tangible value if you can provide any. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah. So, most importantly, try to not, I don't say pretend, like try to be serious, like anything that you do. So when you reach out to people, they should believe that, okay, this person is seriously doing something, or is just not trying like everybody is doing. Okay, just because everyone is doing design during the COVID time, this person is also doing design. So my input is like not much required for this person. Anybody can go and let this person know what they want to know, but try to be serious. Like if you're showcasing a portfolio, better buy yourself a domain like Sandeep dot design, something your name with dot design, something make them believe that you are serious about it, like that you are focusing on this. Though you might have a backup plan or anything in career, but this is what right now it's in your plate. So that adds value and that adds seriousness from the people who are also offering help to you. And also don't get married to the idea that, okay, if I do this approach, this will work for me well. This is the one approach like suggested by someone, or this work for somebody else in the same community with same person. It need not work the same for you. It could be like availability of the person might have changed. So I don't think so that would actually work in the same manner. uh, any questions, Brijesh, Nisha, Chirag? Like anything related to where to find communities, how to join communities, like what you need to do, like as you join a community.
Guys, you feel free to, if you want to say something, you can say. Wait, Anisha, you go on.
Uh, yeah, Sandeep. Actually, in the last few months, I have joined few communities. That is a UX mentoring circle. Okay, so that community is a little bit active, and I used to post my work and get some feedbacks. But uh, and the one more community that is UI UX freelancers. But the most active that I have found is the UX mentoring circle. So could you suggest some uh, more design communities where I can get some feedbacks on my work or some
Got it.
different yeah.
Yeah, so it's not mostly on the community. It's about it's mostly on the people building the community. Okay, there are like communities without moderators at all, which means like completely self-engaging communities. Which means like people like you, me, join there, and if we are interested, we just go and offer some feedback. If you're not, like if you're not in the mood, we are already stuck with something else. Like people don't bother to give feedback at all. So it's about the people. Like there is like no a fixed community. You know what, if you join this community and ask for things, there is someone definitely be there to help you. There is like no such communities
Yeah.
for now, like on an ad hoc basis. But there are some good communities like with a very good response rate. Like one is like rethinking UX. You can search. This is by Mayur, who is a senior UX designer at Mintra.
Okay.
This is like a Delhi-based, I think Delhi-based or Mumbai, no, Delhi-based
Mhm.
community. And then you can join ADPList Webflow community, ADPList learners community. You can search for it. For now, like who have joined the Webflow course, like free web, everything from ADPList is
Mhm.
it's a free resource, right? So
Mhm.
if you have enrolled for the Webflow masterclass or something coming up new called a product led growth masterclass, so you'll be added to the Slack channel where you get to meet people who are like in the same space like as you are looking for. And people are like really engaging there, so you can, that's the only way get in. You cannot join, like you can join rethinking UX by searching on Google and join the community. But for ADPL is like you have to enroll for any of their courses and be part of the community. That is one. And then other good communities,
There's UX mentor
memorizely.
also.
Sorry.
This one, yeah, rethinking UX. Isn't that by Rohan Mishra?
Rohan Mishra is like Design Sunday, I think. Design Buddies or Design Sunday. Like
Okay,
he runs it in Discord, I believe now. Discord, he's using Discord.
got it.
Yeah, you can join Design Sunday, Design Buddies. These two are really good, but these are in Discord. Like, if you know how to use Slack, it's easy to understand Discord as well.
Also, if
And
you
then there
want
is,
any specific platform communities, many platform nowadays have their own communities. Like Figma has its own community, Framer has its own community. I think so. Webflow now has with ADPList their own community. So out here, you'll expect people to reply because they are there to learn a particular thing. If you have any problems, if you need any feedback, there may be a bit higher chances for that. Yep.
yeah, and also like don't get into this FOMO. Okay, I should be part of all the channels within that community, Slack or something like that. Just join the ones that are meaningful to you. You might believe like this is the one of the common mistakes like that I have also done. I just joined. Okay, I don't want to miss out on anything that is being shared in the community. I just want to be part of it. Then I didn't made use of anything at all. So one good example is that you also joined the book club, but you don't read a book. I don't read a book at all. Like I have, it's hard. I have read almost like hardly like one or two books in the last 2 3 years. They're not even design books. They're like self-helping and productivity type of books. But you try to join the book help or book club communities, and you tend to get notified, distracted by them, be looking, reading the messages that you are never gonna make use of. Only when there is a need for you, just join the communities. Even I'm not sure in Discord you can but you can mute a channel in Discord. So don't get into the form of okay, I want to be a part of all the community, all the channels in the community. Just be limited to what's your need actually is. There is one more community called Memorizely. One thing I learned about Memorizely is that the thing that I explained to you, they're doing it on their own. There is a uh, Slack bot, which like you have to be part of that Slack channel, which is like a team projects or something like that. You have to be part of the channel. So that what that bot runs is if there are like 100 people part of that Slack channel, it creates a 52 member team. So 50 teams will be created, randomly connecting two people for a week, and they will start interacting. They will start DMing, and then they will come up with a project or a valuable outcome during their interaction. So you can be part of such communities where like you tend to work with other folks uh, on the same idea that you want to be in. Like they are like mini hackathons like that. So that one is called Memorizely. You might have seen this person, like he
Yeah, he
shows
makes lots
Figma
of reels
hacks.
on Figma,
Yeah,
prototyping and stuff like that.
right.
Yeah, you can search up his Instagram. He's a very famous creator out there.
Yeah,
Uh, yep, that's great. Also, be part of hackathon. If you the amount you can connect in any hackathon is way more than anywhere else. You get to meet so many people in same walk of life. Because hackathons are very much niche down. They only allow certain people with certain level of and there's like there won't be there like hardly will be someone who's a senior designer in a hackathon competing with you. There'll be more mainly junior designers out there. So hackathons are a great place to meet new people, and it gets you to understand what's really going on in the industry in your space. So yeah, that's a great way to find the right people to chat with or collaborate with.
yeah. So, and also one thing I experimented in the early days before joining full time as a designer in the industry. It's like working on pro bono projects, basically free projects. It's not freelance free projects. Let's say like you are a designer, you are looking for you need to have a portfolio. And one thing people like, not one thing, like two things, like they often ask in interviews that do you have a live project? Most of us like will have a mock project with a design prompt that we got in a website or some case studies briefing, something like that, and then we pick, or we sometimes we create our own problem statements, and then we start working on it just because we wanted to do that project like a redesign or something. So one thing they first ask is that like do you have any live project? Live project is nothing but like you might have worked for a company, or you might have started a company, something you created a service like a product, like a website or a web app or a mobile app that is live, that people can go check it out like anytime. Okay, so that's a live project. And the second thing they ask is that like do you have a previous experience collaborating with a developer? Like have you ever done design handoff to a developer? Anybody who's starting, they will look for generalist only. It's very rare people will go for specialist as an entry role. Like the difference is like generalist, you have to do from everything, like right from ideation stage to design handoff to the developer. Like you will be asked to do everything, even though your skills are good in research, your skills are good in like UI visual designs, but it is mostly expected as a generalist in the early stages, like when you join the industry. Or like if you're lucky enough, like you have a strong portfolio, you can directly join as a specialist, like a UX researcher, UX writer, UI designer, senior UI designer, like that. So that's like the vertical. So try to have some live project and have experience of developing with an like working with a developer. So what I do, what I'm currently doing is that I'm working on a project with my a former uh, previous company's employee. Okay, so he's trying to have a project in his portfolio, like a GitHub portfolio, like how we have Figma portfolio and everything. That was like developers have their GitHub portfolio, they can showcase their project, something like that. So we both came up with an idea of, okay, what, like, which is basically available, like, everywhere it's available, like, which is personal finance tracker, personal expense tracker, basically. So whatsoever expense you make, like, it's hard to track. Like there are like hundreds of apps in the Play Store, but it's not that usable because like it's asking, like, it has got too much friction. Let's say if I have to, if I just made a purchase, and then if I have to open the app, unlock it, and then open expense tab, and then add the expense type, everything, put it into a category, and then add the amount, and from which it is like deducted, like from a savings account or from the credit card, I have to choose and then save it. Like it's like a high friction process, like nobody does it. So I'm working on a design process and UX where that can reduce friction, like creating a task in to-do list or a to-do list app. So how easy it can be made to add a record and expense. So that person is working on the actual version of the app, like using my Figma designs, he's creating the app. So you tend to encounter lots of edge cases. Being a designer, you will forget to design how this screen would look like. Unless or until you actually work on it, like somebody is developing it, you will never have the idea of, okay, this is how like the flow actually completes with the all the designs, all the screens. So that is one good experience for me, working with a developer on a live project. So that you can also try, which is like I can say, like that worked well for me, and also it will work like to have a live project. So it's very easy to push an app to a Play Store. It will cost you like really less amount than paying for a course or a boot camp, anything as such. And yeah, that is one. And also I have a Figma portfolio, like a portfolio in my portfolio case study in my website, which is like live, and also have the experience of working with a developer. That one thing. And the other thing I would say is that, like, collaborate with people with different aspect of design. Let's say, like, if you focus only want to focus on user research, try to work with a person who is a UI designer. Okay, you do the UX research and give the deliverables in terms of wireframe and research content in a Notion or a Google Docs, and expect them to do the UI design and put it in your case study, and say like what's like your role, what you did, and then your collaborator's role, and make it as a project. So instead of saying like I did everything, this is what I did, like I thought of this idea, that doesn't make sense. And also it will really really help you in terms of coming up with an idea or shaping up the idea that you had in the early stages when you have a collaborator with you. So yeah, um, anything else that I wanted to? Yeah, I can take some questions. Probably that would be for the day.
Yeah, guys, feel free to ask any questions. You can just chat or you can just let me know. I'll on the presenter mode for every one of you. So you can just unmute and talk your things out. I'll be in presenter mode to everyone on the call. Just need to allow Bevy to yeah. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to unmute.
So Sandeep, I
Yeah.
have seen your profile as you have done your engineering from, I think, the uh, electronics branch, and then I think you were in managing or some mar- managing roles, and after that you moved to some product designer and all. So I just want to know how you have made your transition from that background to designer, and what you have faced in your early stages. And
Yeah. So in my case, uh, it was like quite straightforward. So I was mostly filling the space of like what is being required. For example, the day like when it started, like after engineering, I wasn't directly into design, but I was doing design since college days, design and development. I was doing some freelance projects like basic websites for small companies for lesser budget something. So I know what needs to be done, but I wasn't focused after engineering to get into design and all. I was doing something else, and then I was into product space, basically understanding products and then try to make them better. So in terms of making them better, like you can take multiple verticals to make a product better. You can understand, okay, what are the ways like the product can be made better. It's on the performance, the aesthetics part, the functionality, anything. So I chose the aesthetics part and then B2B as a service first product. And then I was just filling the space of a designer, like that wasn't there at that time. Like the company was building products directly, development and some wireframes. Okay, with just basic wireframes they were developing. So I just added a intermediary state. So that's when I started learning back in 2019 something around. I started learning Figma, Adobe XD, and then it was like just to fill the space. I started with the design. It wasn't that I wanted to do design full time, and then I liked it, and then I wanted to like I was good comparatively in that space. Like since like nobody was there, like I had to fill in the space. Like I was doing the designs and then sharing instead of wireframes, I was giving affiliated designs. Okay, and over a period of time, like doing the same stuff again and again, like there is an expectation from my end in terms of quality and consistency. Okay, so then I have to learn designs like in a fundamental process. So then I went back. Now I'm just a script kiddie kind of person who just know the tool and how to get things done in a tool. Like that's not a designer, right? So now I have to go back and then learn some basics and everything. So I started with some Google UX course and then some reputed YouTube designers, followed them, understood the design process, why design is in the first place. Uh, got the not I won't say it's a formal education, but understanding the fundamentals before you start with the tool. So did that, and then I came back again. Okay, I wanted to do full time design. Then I did some projects that I like. I can't simply say, okay, now I learned the fundamentals and I know the tool. I can start working as a designer in a company. I need a validation for myself at least to be confident. So I started taking some freelance projects, ensured whether I can able to add value to the problem, like value to their service that I've been offering. Then I figured, okay, that it's a time I should move full time for design. So that's how the transition has been.
So did you offer these services for free, or because you were starting on, or you
No,
were getting paid?
comparatively less. So comparatively less, like 10 times less, I would say. So the thing that I'm doing right now, like I charge like $60 an hour, or it used to be $25 a screen. It depends on like how the client is like good with. But when I
Hmm.
started, I was doing it for like the entire project for $12, which includes like
Okay.
20 screens or something. It's like to get the opportunity. Like people might say you should not lower your prices just to get the
Hmm.
opportunity. It's about the market and the competition. Like if you are not, see, at least you get an opportunity to prove yourself what you're capable of. You just simply sit there and say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to charge you less. I will get an opportunity. Somebody will be doing the same thing for free and get the opportunity, and they will shine. So
Yeah,
it's
it's a
up
good
to
way
you,
to have
like
a
how you
real
see it.
project in your portfolio before you even
Anyhow,
start applying.
you need to have, and when you do it for free, like at a cheaper price, you have an high leverage of asking them, hey, you know what, I would like to add your project in my portfolio. Like,
For sure.
are you okay with it? People will be yeah, okay, if I'm getting a service for free, like a cheaper rate, like what's gonna matter? Like they simply say, okay, just hide my name or like change some copies and have it in your portfolio, so they're okay with it. So like people looking for services at that cost, like they don't really matter about like NDA or like adding it to your portfolio at all.
Next question I had was, which was the community, because you're part of so many communities now, which was the community as a contributor or as the one who's learning from it, you gained the most out of, as a designer, as a person, be it whichever.
um, so like there are like specific communities for specific things. Let's say Friends of Figma gave me the exposure to a larger design audience. People got to know me from, okay, this guy is from Chennai, Friends of Figma. More than Sandeep, they know like this guy from Chennai, Friends of Figma. That's how it started. And then second thing took me more as a represented me more as a mentor and then a community first person. Like, okay, Sandeep design from community is also part of communities is ADPList. So I work closely with the team, with the core team as well. So ADP list, and then like again, like in the month of May, everything happened in the last year only. I joined Friends of Figma Feb end March, early March last year, and then ADP list in the month of March, and then April, and then LottieFiles in the month of May. So that's how all these things, like this is how the order would be. Like it started with Friends of Figma, and then if you ask by order, it is like Friends of Figma, ADP list, and then Lottie Files. If you ask like gave me much impact, I would say ADP list, but I'm not sure like whether it would have been possible without Friends of Figma in the first place.
Makes sense, makes sense, totally makes sense. So, like, how was the journey? So, you were part of these organization as a major contributor, FOF, like, it's not easy to at times get positions of that. So, what were few things you kept in mind while applying for Friends of Figma, FOF community ambassador, or be it ADB list ambassador or Lottie Files? Guys, just so you don't know, these are very good things to add in a portfolio also, because it kind of shows a really into design industry. You are up with everything. So yeah, it's good if you're part of FOF certain place, or you get to meet lots of people, you get access to lots of people. Same with ADP list. Sandeep has worked with the whole team of ADP list because he was part of it. And it's crazy exposure, because I feel they are at a very high position in their career. They're running a company which is so widespread, and you're getting to learn from those people directly. Um, so yeah, how did you apply for these things, Sandeep, and how did it work out for you? Like, what was your process in a
Yeah.
basic?
So yeah, before I would explain about like how did I apply, approached anything, like I would give you the perks of being a community. Okay, so now I have a network of more than 100 people who I can simply reach out to and say, you know what, I'm in the job market now. I need a job. Can you recommend to anyone? So I have like really good people recommending to really good companies with their network, because I was part of their communities that they know, and I like they can vouch for my work because they have seen me working with them. So now they can say, okay, like okay, this person can be in validation to the company. They can speak for myself. It's like not just the portfolio speaks for me, also the people that I network with or I connected with during these community times, they speak for me as well. So that is one of the perk. Like one good example is that like even the current job I'm doing right now was also like recommended by one of my mentor to the founders, and then I actually mostly mentor folks on how to crack a design interview and everything, but I hardly never got a chance to do go through a proper 5 step interview process. It was just a lunch or a dinner, so that's the way it has been for me. So these are like good things. I won't say uh, for only this you should be doing it. It's not that. These are like some good perks that is added along with it. And also like you get to know more people, and those people will try to help you a lot. Like they really want to be see, when you are seeing a ladder, people also want to be part of that ladder, right, to go up on the thing. So people will be helping you for free, like without any expectations or anything as such. That is one good thing that has happened. And in order to be noticed and get there, you just need to do 1% extra apart from everyone being part of the community. So you have to figure out what is that 1% that you need to do extra. So let's say, for example, when I started with ADP list, I the 1% extra what I did, I volunteered myself for events that people are organizing, the core team were organizing. I just checked with them, hey, you know what, if you need any help, I'll be happy to part of the events that you're organizing, and I'll be I'm good at doing this. Like I can host Arabic sessions, I can handle YouTube live, I can host speakers in an event. So I shared what I'm good at, or what I can also do. I wanted to do that. I can try with you people. So I let them know. So it was just a matter of matching the demand and supply. When there is a need, they reached out, and then I got a chance to work on it. And then when they have seen my work, it will be like a repeat of process. Okay, they will start suggesting, okay, Sandeep can do it. Sandeep has already done this with us, so I think I can reach out to Sandeep. So that's the way it works. Like you have to find out that 1% extra that you need to do in a community. So that would be it mostly. Okay, to coming back to the root question, like how I approached it. When you learn something, when you like a tool, or when you do something, like you look, like you quickly look out for, like, okay, how I can be part of it. So whenever I try a tool or a product that I love, I check the careers page. Is there a way that I can be part of? And then check the community. Do they have a Slack or Discord channel? So I can learn more about the product or the tool. So that's how when I joined Figma, like I was looking, okay, is there any meetups that are being organized in Figma in Chennai? And then I found friends of Figma, and there was one person handling Chennai. So then I reached out to them, and then I reached out to the guy who's leading for the entire India. He took it as an interview, checked with the uh, things that I have in mind for Chennai, and that's how I got onboarded for Friends of Figma, and also for ADPList. Back then, like it was like 1 in 4 people get selected as a mentor. Like it's an tough scrutiny process that they go through, and luckily I got it in the first time itself. So and then I joined them, and then while checking with them as a mentor, like I was checking, okay, I got some feedbacks, and then I was sharing with the team. So let's say, okay, being a mentor, I tend to interact with more mentees in the platform. I try to be the voice of the mentees to the core team. Hey, you know what, these are the things people are suggesting. They are not getting enough bookings, people are canceling it, what should we do? So I was sharing the feedbacks. Then they launched a program called ADPList Ambassadors. So it was easy for them to recognize me to join the ambassador program and continue doing what I was already doing. So this is one. And also, like in future events, like when they were trying to do, so I said I volunteered, and then I joined it. So this has been the journey, and this is how like I have got to it. Like for LottieFiles, it happened on its own. Like back then it was like Vedankur Gupta, like he was LottieFiles India head. He reached out to me looking at the work that I have been doing for Friends of Figma and ADPList, and he checked with me, can I join the Chennai team for LottieFiles? So that way it happens. The starting push, it will be tough for you to initiate, not even tough for you to pitch in, but later on it will be, it depends upon your work.
That's super cool, Sandeep. That's really a good brief journey of the whole experience. And yeah, as Sandeep told, like just getting lots of people to, who you can ask for referrals, just a good perk. And I'll tell you how good a perk is, because at top companies, you can't easily get the job by applying. You need some referral to at least be noticed, because there's so many people applying for it. And a community can be a great way for that. You're not only adding value to the whole design community, but you're also making your own network. So that is kind of a value you want to get back from it. So yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? Or else, like I think we are good. Yes,
So,
Nisha.
Sandeep, I have one more question. Uh, what, what is the means what are the recruiters expect from our portfolio? Means which kind of projects we should include, or whether it should be more beautiful kind of UI perspective, or more it will be more simple and keep it simple like that. So, what kind of portfolio we should prepare?
Okay, so the answer to this question will be like a separate 1 hour mentorship call that I used to do, but I'll try to compress it and put it in a format that you can quickly make notes of it and then implement it. Okay, so how I see is a portfolio. It's not as a templated stuff. You can have anything that you that represents you as a portfolio, but make it if you're sending it to a recruiter. Okay, recruiter like being noticed by the recruiter, and that should work as an your work repository while applying for a job. Like try to have these three things solid. Okay, an about section, a project section, and then the last is the contact section. Okay, in the about, try to have it like a 50 30 20 rule kind of thing. Okay, 20% about your past, okay, what you have been doing in the past. 50% about your present, what you're currently doing, and 30% about your future. Basically, I have done engineering, I have worked as an so and so, that's my past. And what I'm currently doing, I'm working on projects, I'm learning UX UI design, I'm being part of communities. These are things that I'm currently doing. Where I want to be a T-shaped designer or a 10x product designer. I want to be a product designer in a company. Like, make it as a bio that makes sense to anybody, like who you were, who you are, and who you want to be. And then the last section, let's see first, like the contact. Everybody just simply put their email ID or their phone number directly, or LinkedIn. That's the max they do. If you can go extra mile by adding your Calendly link. Okay, I know everybody knows what is Calendly. Okay, just add a Calendly link so people can quickly book a call with you to understand what you are doing. Okay, just add it to the contact section. And then in the middle, like, you're gonna have your project section. Okay, so try to consider everything as a sales. Okay, that's how I see when it comes to design. Everything should have a conversion. So if you are a mobile shop owner, okay, forget about like you, like let's think about the users. Okay, the recruiters. Okay, I am the recruiter. Okay, I am trying to buy a mobile phone. I am entering into your shop. Okay, what is the very first thing you should be showing to me? That should be mostly mobiles, right? If I come to your shop and you start showing, you know what, like, we have like a really good TV, plasma TV, we have a MacBook, we have tablet computers, we have like uh, watches, everything, but still I haven't got what I wanted to actually, right? So give it easy, make it easy for the buyer or the person who is willing to buy in your shop. Okay, your shop is basically a portfolio. What you need to do, you know for a fact, like, who's coming to your website, mostly recruiters, what they need, projects that they can quickly understand you, okay, to proceed further or not, to convert you as a candidate or not. Okay, so now I'm going to give them three options, only three projects they can quickly able to understand. Okay, how I can break these three projects, how will I choose what three projects I should have it in my portfolio. And is that one person can have just only three projects, cannot have more? You can have more projects. Okay, you can have like hundreds of projects in your website, but display only three when you're applying for a company. Let's say if I apply to Razorpay, I try to have only three projects that are relevant to Razorpay. Okay, some payment application, something related to banking industry, something related to credit cards and debit cards. That's the type of projects I might have when I apply for Razorpay. And if I'm applying for Razorpay, I'm having it as an e-commerce website, some Google Maps redesign, and an IRCTC app. Like, I don't know how it will make sense to recruiters from a company trying to understand how you will fit in there when you're applying. Okay, so ensure when you're applying for a company, even if you have hundreds of projects, hundreds of portfolio case studies in your website, just display only three that are relevant to the company that are trying to hire you. Okay, when you're applying. So out of these three projects, let's break one and remaining two projects. The very first project, you should add it as a featured project. Okay, in my portfolio, I would say like about section, and when it comes to projects, I will have it as a featured project. So featured project is the one thing that I'm 100% confident about. Even during sleep, somebody asks me any questions about the project, I'll be happy to answer, because it's not any cooked project or a reverse engineered project. Okay, it's a project that I love and I did on it on my own. Sorry. Uh, so feature project, basically, when you go to any e-commerce website, when they say bestseller, Amazon's choice, Flipkart assured, you don't know actually what are the rules or what are the criteria that got the product listed in that category, but you eventually prefer that product over the other products with the same specifications, amount, or anything. Okay, it's like a label that you're adding. So when somebody gets into your website, you're making it simple for them. Okay, instead of you redirecting them to, okay, go and check my Dribble, go and check my Behance. And if I go to Dribble and Behance, you have like plenty of random things, some cover profiles, some cover picture design, some mock-up design, some design system design, some invitation card design, and rarely I could find a portfolio design. So when you're creating more friction, it will be hard for any recruiter to understand how good you are as a designer. So when somebody comes to my website, I make them stay there. I don't like redirect them. Okay, go here, go there. Okay, so simply when I have three projects, the first project is my featured project. That is like I'm really 100% confident about, and which will make them click first to understand me better. And then the other two projects, it depends. Okay, now I have a featured slot. I have other two slots. which one should I focus on? Okay, you can have three projects. One project that you're actually good at, let's say I'm really good at user experience research. Okay, I'm really good at finding the primary research, secondary analysis. What is that like? Primary search, quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, and then competitor analysis, behavior analysis, empathy mapping, coming up with an user persona, coming up with an wireframes. That's the maximum deliverable user experience researcher can do. So I can put it as a project. Okay, I will pick an industry since it's a Razorpay I'm applying. So I'll pick an industry UPI payment apps. I do all sort of analysis and then I'll do all sort of research. I find the perfect flow. And if Razorpay is trying to build one UPI based app, how the process should be based on the comparisons, based on the market behavior and everything. How will I do? So some wireframes and everything. So that's the project that I wanted to put it in in the feature section. The other two projects, it could be something that you wanted to experiment. One that could be just to experiment. You want to experiment motion design. Okay, how you can have it in that could be one. And the other thing that you're like currently learning, let's say the UI design skills that you are practicing, it need not be exactly a redesign of an application, because the redesign is basically making your wardrobe better. Okay, nobody's like looking for an wardrobe designer in product design industry. Okay, so what you need to do, what are the other extra features that you can add? So one example is that like from my case study, like I have created this called Delhi Metro Railway Corporation app. Okay, it was like very old school, like very buggy and everything. When I redesigned the app, two things I had in mind. One, that should work for millennials, which means like should have like really good new design UI components. So I chose neomorphism back then, that was trending with Cred application when they launched. So I chose neomorphism, and I don't want to simply do a wardrobe redesign. So what I did, I added some 3 to 4 features extra, but I figured out like 6 features that can be like 6 problems that can be addressed. But I came up with only 3 to 4 features. One example is that like in the metro app, it only shows the possible shortest route between two metro stations. But what if the person wants to take, even if it is like longer route, but he wants to sit and go, like he don't want to stand. So I gave like other possible routes as an options, like that was not there in the existing. And then it wasn't showing which platform the train will like you have to board the train. So I gave an alert to the user like this platform number, like that. So similarly, like you can have projects showcasing your UI skills and also your product skills. Those three types.
Yeah, it is,
Uh,
it is very useful for me. And one more thing, as you have mentioned that if we are applying for a in a company just like a Razorpay, and you have changed your portfolio and added one project related to that financial services and all. So at the same time, we are applying into many companies. Okay. So do we need to maintain different portfolios as you told? So I just confused for this.
No, no, it's not this different portfolios.
Okay.
Like any portfolio
Okay.
platform that you
Mm,
have, it could be
mm,
Wix, Squarespace, or like
mm,
custom built or anything.
yeah.
You can comment a piece of code that can hide the other projects and only show this, or like you can hide the project that is in your thing. So what I'm saying is like it will become really tough for you. Okay, I'm saying from my
Mm,
experience, like when you apply for like
mm,
3 to 4 companies at the same time, because with one
mm,
company you will be doing the initial call, the second company will be having an HR call, with the third company you will be taking a design assignment, and the
mm,
fourth company that you will might be having the final round. Think about it, like because in companies they just give you only 1 or 2 days for the take home exercise, or like you might have really less time to prepare for the whiteboard challenge. So doing too many things at a time can also doesn't help you land at the right job, because of the time management thing part.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Sunny. That was a super, briefed out explanation. Thank you. I think so. It did. I also did not know many things out here. It was kind of very insightful for me also. So yeah, thanks a lot for that. If anyone has any other questions, then we may take the last question. If not, let's just end the call. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think Jonathan has put this question like, what could be
Okay.
a minimal
Okay.
checklist, like the must to have in a case study? So nowadays, like case studies has become like more of a templated format. People go read some Medium articles or download it from well experienced designers and then make try to fit in because like for some like even I have done that mistake. Okay, so it's not that okay that's a crime and all. Like everybody would have done that because we believe that makes it a case study, perfect case study, right? So there is like no perfect checklist stating okay these are the essential things. So case study, how I see case study is just a log of items that you did during designing designing the complete product. Okay, coming up with a solution or anything. You just need to log it. Okay, you can simply put it as an like day one I did this, day two I did this, day three I did this. That could also be a thing. Uh, and most importantly people teach now it has become like completely outdated people teaching each and everything in a case study while somebody reading it okay this is my design process includes 5 steps like define ideate design prototype and test. So this is my 5 step process like you need not explain at all like you just start with the flow and then you know what like these are the problems I identified, these are the existing solutions for the problem already there, and these are the flaws in the existing solutions. And I revamped the solutions into these three. And this is the stage I converted my solutions from verbal statements to wireframes or pencil sketches. And from there, I started making high fidelity designs. And then I got some feedbacks and then reworked on them. And this is the prototype that you can test and try. And these are my learnings. Okay. In between, you can have multiple academic things like stating, okay, after I creating my high fidelity designs, this is the heuristic evaluation I did. I went to Google, I searched about heuristic evaluation 10 points. Jacob Nielsen's 10, not Jacob Nielsen, I think Jacob Nielsen, I think. Okay, Jacob Nielsen's 10 points of heuristic evaluation. Okay, I have an error state. I have given the user the context where he is. And I always have an happy path. You can write anything in between, but the objective is what was the problem, what is the solution that you arrived at, what is the in between process. Okay, for you to choose okay what is that. You can also have like you should have assumptions because when I'm going through your case study, when I'm reading yours, I might think okay why is this person is so dumb, they could have done this way, they could have done that way. But you have to give me the assumption so that I'll understand okay these are the constraints this person had, so that's the reason they have chosen this way. They are not actually dumb. So you have to be, you shouldn't give the idea of doubt when somebody going through your case study. Okay, because it's going to act for yourself in your present, in your absence, during an interview or something like that. Okay, and I also suggest don't go with the portfolio website for the portfolio walkthrough. Better you create a separate presentation, okay, with just visuals that should get into the recruiter's mind quickly. You can talk a lot, okay, and just scrolling your website pages in an interview in the name of a portfolio review doesn't help you at all. Like one quick thing.
That's a super great answer, Sandeep. I also believe showing intermediate steps are so important because many recruiters ask you, why did you come to this conclusion? And if you don't have any intermediate steps, it's like, because you felt like you made it, and that's not how the industry works. You need to have reasoning for everything you're doing. So yeah, in the real product, you won't design because you feel like something looks good or something makes sense. There needs to be a backing for things. So yeah.
Yeah, that's important. Like when somebody asks you a question like why did you keep this way, like you shouldn't be saying okay I liked it, I saw this here or something like that. You should have a solid reason to why you have this dark theme. Why did you go for dark theme? Nobody asked for a dark theme. Like why did you do that? So you must always have a design for, like I know few people like when they make a button, okay, somewhat length increased, they have a justification to it. So that makes a good designer. They know why they are doing it. So I would suggest everyone to have such thing.
Yup. Guys, any more questions? I think so. We're already up at the time.
Yep.
So yeah. Thanks a lot, Sandeep, for taking our time. Also, because you're going on vacation tomorrow, I'm so sorry to
No
uh,
worries.
stop you out here. But yeah, thanks a lot for taking our time and doing this session. And yeah, looking forward to do more sessions with you sooner. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Any ending notes, Sandeep?
Um, that would be it. Like you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and after vacation, like after 25th of this month, I'll be free, so I can take some ADP list calls. That you, if you're looking for a feedback or review on your portfolio or something like that, you can find me simply ADP list space Sandeep Baskaran in Google.
I'll
You will
just
find me
share
there.
Sandeep's LinkedIn on the chat, so anyone can check it out there, and he has all the ADP list and everything linked out there itself. So you will be able to know it from there. Is that all right, Sandeep?
Yeah, that's completely alright for me.
Cool. Cool. Thank you everyone for
Cool.
joining us. I hope you gained a lot from this session, and have a great Today's Friday. Yeah, have a great Friday evening. Bye bye.
Bye bye.